What is up, everybody? Professional wrestler Chris Wilde back with an impromptu live video. It is raining its ass off here in Lower Delaware, and I would rather sit in the rain. I would rather do this video horribly as it is right now than watch a game like I saw yesterday with the Philadelphia Eagles. Moves were made today as this is kind of a surprise to me. Quarterback Joe Flacco, backup quarterback to Jalen Hurts, has been traded to the New York Jets for a conditional, I believe, sixth-round pick. Look, a sixth-round pick for Joe Flacco. I'm not going to complain for that. Obviously, Zach Wilson was hurt yesterday in the Jets game. He is out. I'm not sure how long. It might be season-ending. So Joe Flacco goes back to the Jets, a team that he was on last year. If I'm a Jet fan, I'm not happy with that at all. If I'm an Eagles fan, I'm intrigued because I think what that does is it sets the stage for a potential Gardner Minshew start here in Philly. And I know you're going to be looking at me and shaking your head. Look, I've been a Jalen Hurts believer. I like the guy. I like the kid. I like his work ethic, all of the intangibles. However, if you keep on going, if they lose, which is possible, to the 0-6 Detroit Lions, if they lose to them, or if they're 0-7 now, I think. But if they lose to the Lions next week, there's got to be a move's got to be made. Somebody is going to have to take the hit, and it might be Jalen Hurts. And I know how it is here. We love the backup quarterback. Gardner Minshew is not a bad quarterback, I don't think. Is he a full-fledged starter? I don't think so either, but we're going to get antsy, and we're going to want to see this offense. At least Jeffrey Lurie is going to want to see this offense coached with another quarterback. So that way they have a better take on things. Is it the quarterback or is it the coaching situation? It might be both, but if you're just joining, Joe Flacco will not see the field as a quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles because he's traded today to the New York Jets, so he goes back to the Jets. I think the Eagles paid like $3 million for his contract. It is interesting to me, if you're the Jets, why you would go with Joe Flacco. I'm sure they wanted Minshew, and I bet the Eagles said absolutely not. So Minshew, who hasn't dressed all year, is now the backup quarterback. The Eagles also signed a quarterback before they traded Joe Flacco. They signed a quarterback, and I don't know his name. Leave it in the comments. Off of the practice squad of the Miami Dolphins. So there's that. But interesting news today. Rick Lovato was also let go. I think he'll be brought back to make room for this new quarterback. But yeah, it's just unreal to me, the pieces that are falling. Obviously, and Brian Cruz, it is hilarious to me. Like, obviously, it's just weird. Like, you put all that money into Joe Flacco with $3 million. And look, I'm not Joe Flacco would not survive in this offense. Okay, the offense as it is, he won't survive. And as we saw during the preseason, look, the guy can still throw the ball, but he is immobile. I think he's absolutely cooked. But the fact that he's your number two, you put all this money into him, and now you trade him away. This front office, I don't think they have a clue. I don't think they have a clue on what they're doing. Again, I think this definitely sets up for a possible Gardner Minshew maybe start. Again, if Jalen Hurts plays a fourth consecutive bad game, how can you not sit the kid? I mean, how can you not? If you're Jeffrey Lurie or if you're Howie Roseman, you're going to want to see, like, okay, Nick, if your scheme is not working because the quarterback is not making the throws, then let's see how you do with this guy who has won games in the NFL. I'm talking about Gardner Minshew. So Minshew Mania headed to the main roster as he will now be the number 2 quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, getting a little bit closer to that number 1 spot. And again, I've been a Jalen Hurts guy through and through, and it's just shit's not working, man. It is not working. He's got great stats. They come in garbage time in the fourth quarter. And it's just very, 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 again, a game like yesterday, it kind of makes you think, like whose fault is it really? I think it's both. I think it's Sirianni, and I think it's Jalen Hurts too. And as Eagle fans, we knew this was going to be a rebuilding year, but there are mistakes, there are games that could have been won that are being lost. And at some point, you got to be ready for a change. You got to see what you got in guys. And again, if they lose to the Detroit Lions, I will almost guarantee you that Gardner Minshew will start the next game. Unless Jalen Hurts throws for 5 touchdowns and it's a close game. I think Gardner Minshew absolutely will get a start at some point this season. If Hurts keeps playing the way that he's playing, it's definitely going to happen. If you're just joining right now, as I see the numbers starting to crawl up a little bit, Joe Flacco traded back to the New York Jets. Joe Flacco will be, he'll probably be starting next week for the Jets, as Zach Wilson, the number 2 pick of this year's draft, a guy that was kind of tied to the Eagles, was hurt. I'm not sure the severity of that, but it might. I'm going to guess it's closer to season ending than not. Eagles get a 6th-round pick again. I would give up Joe Flacco for a case of beer, a case of Vizzy, a case of Truly, any kind of seltzer that you would want. Sirianni and Gannon are in way over their heads. I agree, and I'm also going to say this, man. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this morning I woke up and saw that Jonathan Gannon was fired from this football team. I mean, the Eagles have let up so many points. The only other team to let up as many points as the Philadelphia Eagles this year are the New York Jets, and the New York Jets are. You don't want to be in that conversation with them. It's been absolutely putrid. Teams run Flacco may, Jack Attack. I'm sure a lot of people thought that, and I thought that possibly he was going to get ready to start if things kept going the way they were. But Flacco's immobile. It wouldn't look. The offense isn't good now, so it wouldn't have hurt. But yeah, you will not be seeing Joe Flacco in his tiny helmet, because he always had that little helmet. You will not be seeing him at Philly. You might be seeing him when the Eagles play the Jets later on this year. And wouldn't that be something if he destroyed this offense? Jack Sirianni has been bad. I absolutely agree with you. He could be on his way out after 1 year. We could get a 5th pick. Is it conditional? Is it a conditional 5th? Is it 6th but a conditional 5th? Is that what it is? I guess maybe if he plays a certain... Yeah, I don't know. I've been excited about Gardner Minshew, and that's where we are, guys. I'm excited about Gardner Minshew. Being on this football team, he's got a swagger and an attitude about him that I really like. He's won games in the NFL. Again, if Hurts cannot get his shit together, you could possibly see Minshew in there. They got a 5th pick, and they're trying to get Deshaun Watson. So they don't have to. My thing is, maybe it's possibly opening up a Deshaun Watson thing. I didn't even think about that. The Eagles could definitely be trying to get Deshaun Watson here. But they could do that without this. I guess maybe they're clearing the way. Is that what you're saying? They're clearing the way. The Flacco's out. And they're going to get Deshaun Watson as the trade deadline's next week. So, look, and I didn't even think about that narrative, the Deshaun Watson thing. It could absolutely be possible. And last I heard, Howie Roseman was so in on Deshaun Watson that he sent an investigator to investigate all this stuff going on, all these allegations. And Deshaun Watson doesn't want to come to Philly. So, he's got... He's got a trade clause where he can say no to any team. So, I'm not sure. But that would definitely be interesting as these pieces start to move. That would definitely be interesting. So, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Is Deshaun Watson possibly on his way to Philadelphia? I think the more likely thing is they're looking into a Gardner Minshew start, maybe. Maybe Joe Flacco asked to get out. I doubt that. I don't know. But he's making $3 million this year no matter what, and he's making the $3 million to sit there and do nothing. Maybe he asked, but I think with Zach Wilson getting hurt and the Jets, Joe Flacco being familiar with that organization, I think Watson's going to the Dolphins. I don't know if the Dolphins have the draft capital to do it. Now, look, Watson has say in where he's going to go, but at the same time, the Texans can just say no. I'm not. If you got this sweet package from Philly, and Miami is not going to give you that. Apparently, they don't want anything to do with Tua. Either does Houston. Houston, at least with Jalen Hurts, you get a hometown kid back. They could just say no, and then it could be OBJ could be. Jack. Odell Beckham from like 3 years ago, maybe, but he's not going to help this team right now. He's not. It's a coaching and a quarterback issue here. And he would be so upset. Imagine Odell Beckham on this team. He would cause such a disruption with the way things are going. It would not be good. So, if they're going to trade for a wide receiver, I'd rather see a guy like Allen Robinson come here. But, look, where we're at right now, you've got Joe Flacco on his way to the Jets, Gardner Minshew on his way up to number 2 for the Eagles. And, that's where we are. Watson's accused of civil court matters, not criminal. Then I'd take Watson. My thing is and here it is. I don't really want to get into this because because the guy, we live in America. You're innocent until proven guilty. It is so I just the allegations are so crazy, and if he did all these things, I don't care if it's civil or criminal. I don't want a scumbag like this on the team. I just don't. I don't want a guy that treats women like this on the team. I don't care how great a quarterback he is. I don't care if it's the second coming of Tom fucking Brady. I don't. If you did this, I don't want you on my team. I don't. I want Hurts to be the guy so we can use those, to build around Hurts. I want Hurts to be the guy. I want Hurts to be the guy, too. I would love if he was the guy. I would love if he would be the franchise quarterback for this football team. And I don't want to build around him because they've got some pieces right now. Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. They've got, Jordan Mailata on the line. I think Dickerson's going to be – Jordan Mailata had a horrible game yesterday. I think Dickerson's going to be decent. Miles Sanders, if they ever try to use him. But the defense, they got to build up the defense. I'd use those picks to build up the defense. The team is hard to look at. It's hard to watch. Painful to watch. I'd rather get teeth pulled. I'd rather get, no, I'm not going to say that. But there's a lot of bad things I'd rather be doing than watching this football team on Sundays, Thursdays, and Mondays. It is very tough right now. And again, if you're Jeffrey Lurie, do you sit there and you take this shit? Doug Peterson, guys. Doug Peterson. I'd rather draft Pitts, Kenny Pickett, watch his tape. I would definitely do that. Defense is so bad. This is one of the worst defenses I've ever seen in Philadelphia. Being an Eagles fan, like I said, look, but we got to remember how he did all this. Yeah, he did. Howie Roseman is a problem. And look, we complained about Chip Kelly, man. Like, Chip Kelly got us to the playoffs. Chip Kelly won 10 games twice. What we got right now is so. I would die for the Chip Kelly days again. This is what. And this is where we are right now. And Jeffrey Lurie's got to look at this and go, I fired a coach that got us to a Super Bowl, that got us to the playoffs, 3 out of 4 years. Was he the most flashy guy? Was he an offensive genius? No, I wasn't. He dealt with a lot of injuries on this team. The worst rushing team ran all over us. Yeah, man, this defense is bad. They don't have a scheme. How do you have your defensive coordinator sit up there and say, we don't have a scheme? We don't have one. I don't like that. Bill Belichick gets away with it because he's Bill Belichick. Their defense has never really had a scheme. It kind of changes with who they play. This guy, this passive bullshit is ridiculous. Howie's the main problem, but Lurie like Howie so much that he can't fire him. Yeah, Howie's like a son to this guy, man. Look, it's just a lot of coaches, and man, I was going to do another video on this, and I still will, but a lot of the coaches, you look at Brandon Staley with the Chargers, who is like a possible Coach of the Year candidate. He didn't want to come here because of Howie Roseman, because the Eagles wanted him. That was one of their first picks, and he did not want to come here because of Roseman. Same thing with Robert Saleh, who's now with the Jets. A lot of these teams a lot of these coaches do not want to come here and deal with this Howie Roseman bullshit. They just don't want to. Jeffrey Lurie, what do you want to do? Do you want to have a successful team? Do you want to win? Do you want to get back to a Super Bowl? Do you want to get back to the playoffs? Or do you want to be the Philadelphia Phillies and miss the playoffs 11 years straight? Do you want to be the New York Jets? Do you want to be the Detroit Lions or the Cleveland Browns? Because the one thing here, guys are going to stop coming to games. They're going to stop coming to games. I said this yesterday. You know what? I said it to a guy on the live stream yesterday. I said, we're Eagle fans. We come to games no matter what. That's what we do. We'll come to the arena or to the stadium and boo. Joe Flacco was traded for a 6th round pick that could be a conditional 5th round with playing time. But eventually, man, we're going to stop coming. Eventually, you keep going down this route. You become the Detroit Lions or the New York Jets or even the New York Giants. And we're going to stop coming to games. It's going to happen. Numbers are up a little bit, guys. Joe Flacco traded to the New York Jets. He goes back to the Jets for a 6th round pick that could turn into a conditional 5th due to playing time. Howie does love his yes-man coaches. I think Peterson at the end of that was like, F this, I'm not doing it anymore. And they got rid of him. But I don't know, man. Something's got to happen. You can't, as an owner, sit there and put up with this. Now, I understand. Rebuilding year. We got to see what we haven't heard. So we got to see what we got in this coaching staff. The thing is, with the Minshew Mania, that's right. I didn't even watch a press conference. Didn't even watch it. I'm tired of hearing them talk. But the thing with these first-year coaches is you want to see what systems they put in place. Now, when they have the systems there, now you put in the pieces, right? So, like next year, Eagles have a lot of money to spend salary cap. The Eagles have all these first-round picks. He got traded to the New York Jets, King. Then you get the personnel. You put them in the systems. So you got a good system, but you have bad personnel. Now you fill it with good personnel, and shit starts to work. This is bad. These systems are bad. That's the problem with what's happening right now with the Eagles. These systems are bad. They are bad systems. So, I mean, you can't watch this. You can't just be an owner and or a general manager. He doesn't give a shit. But you can't just sit here and go, yeah, I'm gonna spend so much money on players to go into this shitty system. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work, guys. So Minshew mania, Minshew number 2 now, could be number 1 soon. There's a Deshaun Watson rumor floating around. The Eagles are going to try to acquire him before the trade deadline. Something's got to happen. What we've watched has been so much utter garbage. Like, this team is not. It's not that they're just bad players and the other teams are just better. It's so much other stuff. It's the systems around them. It's declining a 4th down and taking the penalties. The Raiders have another shot yesterday at a 3rd down. That's what it is, man. And you know what? I don't know. At this point, we could lose. We could be the Lions' first win at this point. It's bad. And we got these draft picks, and they're going to be high because we suck and the Dolphins suck. But, again, who's picking these picks? And then, I watched the games last night, a little bit of the Colts and the Niners, and it's like Carson Wentz looks like he did in 2017. I mean, watch Zach Ertz catch the longest pass of his fucking career with the Cardinals yesterday, man. It's like, how much can you take as a fan of a football team? Yeah, I love Zach. Great for Zach. But, man, it's just rough right now. It's rough. So, with that being said, guys, I'm going to get off here. I thought this was going to be like a 5-minute thing. As you see, this is not where I like to film. But yeah, Joe Flacco traded, goes back to the New York Jets. He goes back to being Broadway Joe and not Broad Street Joe. And we never got to see Broad Street Joe. But Minshew Mania could be on its way to a football field near you. And is Deshaun Watson possibly going to be here, guys? We're going to keep up with that. We're going to see what's going on. If anything else happens, I'm going to get with you guys. And please watch all the rest of the content on this channel. I'm really digging the Soprano Bros stuff, reviewing The Sopranos. A lot of stuff coming your way, guys. I've got to eat because I'm absolutely starving. With that being said, everybody stay safe, stay healthy. Go Birds. Joe Flacco to the New York Jets for a 6th conditional 5th round pick. Hits keep coming.